Welcome to day 22 of the Canon Law in a Year podcast. Today we will read canons 100 to 105, which define and distinguish between canonical terms related to where a person lives. These canons are wordy, so stay with me and I will do my best to distill it down. Most of these terms actually first appeared in canons 12 and 13, way back in episode 3, but here they receive further clarification. If you want to follow along, we are using the translation from the Canon Law Society of Great Britain and Ireland, which you can see on the fantastic website www.canonlaw.ninja, linked in the description below. Beginning. Canon 100. A person is said to be an incola in the place where he or she has a domicile, an advena in the place of a quasi-domicile, a peregrinus if away from the domicile or quasi-domicile which is still retained, a vagus if the person has nowhere a domicile or quasi-domicile. Note: so if you live permanently in a place, then your home, your domicile, is there, and you are called an incola. If you plan on living in a place not permanently, but for at least 3 months, then you have a quasi-domicile there, and are called an advena. And if you are a transient with no permanent home, then you are called a vagus. Canon 100. The place of origin of a child, and even of a neophyte, is that in which the parents had a domicile or, lacking that, a quasi-domicile when the child was born. If the parents did not have the same domicile or quasi-domicile, it is that of the mother. In the case of a child of vagi, note, this is the plural of vagus, so this is referring to the children of transients. In the case of a child of vagi, the place of origin is the actual place of birth. In the case of a foundling, it is the place where it was found. Canon 102. Domicile is acquired by residence in the territory of a parish, or at least of a diocese, which is either linked to the intention of remaining there permanently if nothing should occasion its withdrawal, or in fact protracted for a full 5 years. Quasi-domicile is acquired by residence in the territory of a parish, or at least of a diocese, which is either linked to the intention of remaining there for 3 months if nothing should occasion its withdrawal, or in fact protracted for 3 months. Note: so if you don't plan on living somewhere for long, but you don't leave, then it starts counting as your quasi-domicile after 3 months, and as your domicile after 5 years. Continuing. Domicile or quasi-domicile in the territory of a parish is called parochial. In the territory of a diocese, even if not in a parish, it is called diocesan. Canon 103. Members of religious institutes and of societies of apostolic life acquire a domicile in the place where the house to which they belong is situated. They acquire a quasi-domicile in the house in which, in accordance with Canon 102, paragraph 2, they reside. Canon 104. Spouses are to have a common domicile or quasi-domicile. By reason of lawful separation or for some other just reason, each may have his or her own domicile or quasi-domicile. Canon 105. A minor necessarily retains the domicile or quasi-domicile of the person to whose authority the minor is subject. A minor who is no longer an infant can acquire a quasi-domicile of his or her own, and, if lawfully emancipated in accordance with the civil law, a domicile also. One who for a reason other than minority is lawfully entrusted to the guardianship or tutelage of another has the domicile and quasi-domicile of the guardian or curator. And that brings us to the end of day 22. I will see you all tomorrow for canons 106 to 110. Have a great day, and God bless you.